YouTube. This is kind of weird. I'm used to having a class in front of me, and now I don't. So let's just go for it. Right, here we go. I want to talk to you. I want to talk about the difference between religious education and religious instruction. So, right. The thing you need to know is that, generally speaking, this is bad. Right. This is because there's two ways that we can be about this, right? Either God exists, God exists, or God doesn't exist. So if God exists, God gave us this power of reasoning and judgment and thought. So if you have the power of reason, it stands to reason that God would want you to find him for yourself, and that's more valuable, right? So say you use your reason and you follow the path of reason and come to God, which is totally possible. Then having a religious education that helps you reason your way through to God, very valuable. Similarly, if there's no God, but you have this power of reason, then we'll find out that there's no God through using reason rather than just using emotion or snap judgment or hating the Catholic Church, as so many people do. Right. Religious education is the following things. It's objective. I don't take anyone's side. You shouldn't take anyone's side. We're going to look at all different religions on equal footing. We'll see what we can take and what we should leave behind. Good. The second thing is that you're free. Free. You're free to believe whatever you want to believe. Plenty of people go through my RE course and they're Christians at the beginning and they're Christians at the end. I've taught Muslims and Sikhs and Hindus and Jews, and you can believe whatever you want, agnostic or atheist or scientist or anything. So feel free. I don't stand much for, weird stuff. Your flying spaghetti monsters, your pastafarians. Yeah, but that's fine. If you want to have those beliefs, argue with me. I love it. Right. The next thing is that I need you to be fair, reasoned, and I want you to learn to be articulate. In your judgment of other religions, you can't go into this thinking that Christians are terrible people and I hate Christianity and I hate God and Jesus wasn't real. You've got to open your mind at least to the possibility that people can be understood. Maybe you will remain right the whole way through. Maybe you'll realise these people are wrong. But I want you to learn how to be articulate in explaining your beliefs to other people and in picking out the reasons why other beliefs don't make sense, why they don't cohere, why they don't fit. So reasons. Reason, very important to me. One of the problems with reason is that, say that you're irrational, right? You are incapable of using reason. Then how can I argue with you? In a world where it's okay to be irrational, anything can be true. In a world where it's okay to be irrational, I can believe whatever I want to believe. If you're not open to reason, there's no point in arguing and discussing. So if you're not open to reason, you may not enjoy this so much. If you are, then reason doesn't dictate what you believe or don't believe. It just means that we can come together and have a big conversation and discover some new things about ourselves and each other. Cool. Now for the Plato. I might speed this bit up. So, I'm going to read you some Plato. I will try and do this slowly. Right. Oh, this is from Plato's Republic. It's not worth reading all of it. But, maybe read some, it's good. Right, suppose you have a line divided into two unequal parts. Then divide the two parts again in the same ratio to represent the visible and intelligible orders. This gives you, in terms of comparative clarity and obscurity, in the visible order, one subsection of images, D, and by images I mean first shadows and then reflections in water and other close-grained polished surfaces and all that sort of thing, if you understand me. Let the other subsection, C, stand for the objects, which are the originals of the images, the animals around us and every kind of plant and manufactured object. He says, would you be prepared to admit that these sections differ in that one is genuine, one not? That the relation of image to original is the same as that of the realm of opinion to that of knowledge. Then consider, next, how the intelligible part of the line is to be divided. In one subsection B, the mind uses the originals of the visibles in their turn as images, and has to base its inquiries on assumptions and proceed from them, not to a first principle, but to a conclusion. In the other, A, it moves from assumption to a first principle, which involves no assumption, without the images used in the other subsection, but pursuing its inquiry solely by and through forms themselves. It is likely that made little sense, but once I've done this explanation, you can rewind the video and watch it again. Here's the thing. Let's take a human hand, because I have one right here. So if I look at this hand in the mirror and think, ooh, two Sarahs, there's one there and there's one there, whoa, then I am stuck in, my opinions and beliefs are stuck in this realm of shadows. When a dog looks in the mirror and he thinks he sees another dog, that's that kind of idea. Babies do the same thing. Elephants don't. Interesting. Dolphins neither. Then you're at Icasia. Humans are rarely in that state unless they're in some sort of particular medical situation, I suppose, or babies. Beliefs, pistis. This is the general sort of place where the layman stands. Belief that the objects that we see around us are real. If I believe that this is my hand, this is actually my hand, this is a real thing that exists. If I hold that as a belief, Plato says I am still under some illusion, right? Because that idea that this object holds actual reality is foolish. It's as bad from the point of view of real knowledge as believing that the reflection of my hand is real from the position of someone who realizes that their own hand is not the same, right? That it's an analogous relationship. Right, the next stage up is a dianoia. So if I look at my hand, I can measure its dimensions, I can look at its extension through space, its relation to other things around it, I can look at its relation to itself in terms of all the different parts and how they fit together, I can look at how it fits into a glove, I can look at how it's kind of the same size as my face. These are all really helpful things to know. Now I'm looking at the structural content of what it means to be this hand. Now I'm getting more at something that looks like knowledge. Because if I had that structural content all put together, I would have the hand by proxy, I would just have it, right? And if I have the hand in itself, then I automatically get the possibility of a reflection of the hand. So you see, for Plato, thinking that this stuff is real, putting knowledge claims on information that you get from this realm of the way that your mind is structured is stupid. I think it's ignorance. I think you would be fine to say that it's ignorance. It's opinion. It's doxa, right? So what he wants to aim for, which is a little contentious, is to look at the world of the forms. What Plato believes is that somewhere out in the ether, outside of the realm of what we think of as reality, is handness in itself. So there is some essential qualities of being a hand, and the pure form of them, with nothing missing, with nothing missing and nothing extra. That is handiness, right? There's also chairness and tableness and beauty and justice and truth and love and justice and anything you can think of. There's a form of it, and that everything else takes from it. Think of it like this. UK people, Ribena. Americans, the American Ribena alternative. So you have this like pure thick goo of Ribena, right? But say you've never experienced that. But think about this. You can have like a hot Ribena with lemsip in it, and like honey in it for when you're feeling ill, and quite nice. And you can have like your general like glass of Ribena, just water and Ribena, and that's quite nice. You've got that. You've had like Ribena flavoured ice lollies. You've had that. You've had Ribena flavoured like chewy sweets. You can have the right. If you have enough of these experiences, you can glean from all of those different individual things what they all have in common with each other. And that is how Plato says you access knowledge of the form of Ribenariness, right? You can come to an understanding of this thick, gooey sugar syrup that's going to rot your teeth. Even though you've never experienced it, by looking at the qualities of those different instances of it in the world. And the same is true of anything else. Knowledge. The definition of knowledge for Plato is justified, true belief. Right. Well, belief we know. Beliefs is here. Business, right? Yeah. Truth is tricky because, a justified true belief. So knowledge is if there's knowledge, there has to be a knower. So I'm not talking about making truth claims here. I'm talking about making knowledge claims. So it's all very well and good that 2 + 2 = 4, but it's a different point that I know that. So let's say that something that we hold as a belief sits here on the line as a belief. If we get justification, we use reason, our powers of reason and understanding, to form a coherent picture with all the other parts of the world to promote these beliefs up to the top, where we reach episteme, we reach this realm of knowledge, and then our justified belief is true, and we can say that we have knowledge. Plus equals knowledge. Okay, homework section. Homework section. What I want you to think about is these statements about God. I'll put these on a PowerPoint slide at the end. Statement 1, I believe in God. Statement 2, there is a God. Statement 3, there is no God. Statement 4, I don't believe in God. Statement 5, I do not know if there is a God. I'm going to contend that in terms of the Platonic idea of knowledge, no one can make a knowledge claim about God. And so everybody, whether they believe in God or not, should really hold the view that they do not know if there is a God. I am so happy to be disagreed with. Please write to me in the comments, and out.